Hello, my sweet friend. I am Cristina Arevalo, cake business, productivity coach, and podcaster. I help cake makers like you manage your business productively and with ease, taking control of your time and workflow to avoid stress and burnout. I offer personalized strategies and supportive community to help you stay organized, productive, and in charge of your success. Your cake business should bring you joy, not stress. I'm here to help you build an efficient, successful, and sustainable business without feeling overwhelmed and burned out. With the right planning, strategies, and mindset, you can reach your goals, stay organized, and enjoy the journey. Let's make your cake business work for you, not the other way around. Hello, my sweet friends. Today I have the absolute pleasure of welcome one of the most respected names in the cake world, Chef Benny Rivera. From his early beginnings in Puerto Rico to own City Cakes, one of New York City's most iconic cake studio, Benny has built a career that beautifully combines artistry, business, and heart. In this episode, we talk about his incredible journey, the lessons learned from running a high end bakery, how he's seen the cake industry evolve, and of course, we dive into the ever relevant topic of cake business and cake industry. Get ready for a conversation full of insight, inspiration, and honesty from one of the best in the industry. Thank you so much, Benny, for saying yes and being here with us today on the Art Cake Coach podcast. Hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to another episode of the Art Cake Coach podcast. Christina here, and I'm very happy and very honored to have with me today Benny Rivera. Hello, Benny. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Christina. Thank you so much for the invitation. So happy to be here talking to you.
I'm extremely happy. I was talking behind the scenes with Benny because
Mhm.
I admire his work and I have been following his work for a long time. We have friends in common, but we
Yeah.
never got the chance to chat. So it's great to have you here, and I'm sure it's going to be great for everybody listening because your trajectory as a baker, not only baker, cake decorator, cake artist, but business owner as well,
Mhm.
has been so broad. And you have done so many things that I'm sure there's going to be a lot of takeaways for everyone. But I know who you are, but my audience, I hope they do. But if they don't, Benny, tell us about you. Where are you from? How did you start? How did you start it in this sweet world of
Yeah.
cakes?
Well, I am originally from Puerto Rico, so a small island in the Caribbean. I moved into New York City 28 years ago. And if you were going to tell me, I would say over 20 years ago that I was gonna become a cake artist, I would laugh at you because it was not in my mind at all. That being said, when I was in my teens, I always love how to bake and make cakes. Living with my parents, I used to make a mess in the kitchen baking cakes. But back then, I was just using like cake mix and all that kind of stuff, and I was just doing cake for my family and friends. But then again, I never saw it as a career, you know. So I was always working as a data processor. And when I moved into New York City 28 years ago, I worked for 13 years for a financial company as a research specialist, analyzing stock and dividends and bonds and corporate actions from Latin American countries and Canada. But I always knew that I needed to do something with my hands because I
Mhm.
love draw, paint, or whatever. I love art in all his ramifications. So one day, um, I just invited a friend of mine to go to culinary school at night, and he was
Oh,
like, "You're crazy," and I'm like, "Let's just do it for fun." Um, then we both found the time after working on a regular 9 to 5 job here in America. So we ended going to the French Culinary Institute, and we both signed up for the cake program. So then after that, I started doing things from home for friends. And then one day, my friend, the one who went to culinary school with me, saw what it was our first studio location. So he was like, "Should we try?" And I'm like, "Try what?" He was like, "Let's just rent it and see what happened." And I'm like, "Okay." Then things got complicated because we were both working from 9 to 5, and then we had to run to the studio
Oh my
to try
God.
to do cakes and whatever we have on schedule. So there was a point that it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was still there, and I had to be back the next day on my 9 to 5 job. So it was just like way too crazy. So right when I decided to quit my job and dedicate myself to the 100% to the bakery. So I got laid off because the company got acquired by another company. And when this type of reorganizations happens, sometimes they let off a lot of people, and it's part of the process. So it works perfectly because they gave me 5 months of severance package of salary paid. So I used that time to kind of like to deal with the transition between one job into the other. So here we all the both of us were like working in a 350 square studio. It was really small. And so then TLC, the Learning Channel, contacted me for what it was my very first TV show back in the early 2000s, which was a documentary where they would follow me through the entire process right up to the moment when we deliver the cake. The show was called Fabulous Cakes. And then the Food Network started getting in touch with me too. So one thing got into the other, and that's how everything started. And we saw ourselves in the middle of something good. And but then again, it was something very unexpected. I never planned on that, but I have no regrets at all.
Of course, after
I,
that brilliant
I
beginning
mean,
and career, how could you?
there's a
Yeah.
lot of good and bad too, because
Mhm.
always bad things happen. But you know what? You grow, you learn from those things, and you move on.
Yeah.
And here I am, still, doing cakes, designing cakes, and I still love it. I took a break of a year and a half after closing the doors from City Cakes,
Yeah.
because I needed to process a lot of things that happened during that time.
Mhm.
So I decided to take a year and a half off to, again, to deal with the process, to clean myself from a lot of like negativity that happens through the process. And so I just found an amazing opportunity, an amazing deal to work as a collaborator and working with this new company. And I'm back. So I'm happy
And
to
it's
be
good to
back.
have you back. It's good to
Yeah.
have you back. So much talent to be, but I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. Sometimes we need a break
Hmm.
of things. Yeah. This is great. I mean, you told me your whole story, but I'm gonna go and pick up on some little pieces
Of
that I
course.
got here and there. I've been taking notes
Yeah.
because let's go back to the beginning. You
Yeah.
mentioned the cake when you started. I mean, when you were little with your family, and you said, "Well, it was a mess in the kitchen, but it was family time."
Correct.
Is cake for you that familiar mean that makes you do beautiful things, but at the same time there's that, who doesn't love
Yeah.
cake? There's that love
Correct.
of the cake, right?
Cake for me is, I don't know if people will understand this, but it's my safe place. It is
Mm.
just, I mean, sometimes we work through our life, we work with different companies, we do different things, and you feel like you're pushing yourself, you feel like you're working. But when I'm working with cakes, I don't feel like I'm working.
I know,
It
yeah.
feels so. I mean, I'm so comfortable and so happy that and I'm enjoying the process. So it
Hmm.
doesn't feel like it's a job. So
Yeah.
it is the first time after working for so many years with different companies that in my life that I can say comfortably that it is a job, obviously, yes, but it doesn't feel like a job because I don't see it.
Mhm.
as a job. I'm just creating. It's a process,
You're in your happy place there, right?
correct,
Yeah.
correct,
Yeah,
correct.
I understand perfectly, and probably my fellow cake artists, decorators, and bakers who are listening are nodding right now because I
Hmm.
think that's why we all end up doing what we're doing, and we don't let it go so easily because it is our happy place and
And
it's
you
that
have to
familiar place. Yeah.
and you have to love what you do, because if you think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I spent 13 years working in a financial company, and I was just 13 years seated in front of the computer doing research, working with numbers, and I'm like, I looking back, did I enjoy it? Yes and no, but
Yeah.
because it wasn't a process that I was just like invested 100%. I was
Yeah.
doing it because I need to pay my bills and I need to live,
It
like
was
everyone
the
else.
job. Yeah.
Correct. But now I'm doing something that I truly love, and obviously I get paid for it because it's a job, even when I
Mhm.
just don't want to think about it as a job. But we all need to live, and obviously your talent has to be rewarded in some way.
Yeah, and
So,
we're going to talk about that because it's the
mhm,
business side that
mhm,
because we love so much what we do and we're happy making it, sometimes we kind of forget that business
yeah,
side, right? But we're going to get to that point in a second. Um, you said that you wanted to quit, but you were finally laid off of that job.
correct.
Was that a blessing in disguise for you to start what you
Oh,
started?
totally, totally, totally. I mean, it's just funny how the universe works because I'm like,
Mm,
at some point, I was going crazy because I was just like, okay, how am I going to do this transition? Because if I quit my job, so that means I'm not going to have an income. So I had to make sure that I'm start producing right away to generate an income. And but when this happened, I didn't have to worry for 5 months because they covered my salary for 5 months. So I have enough time to work with the transition and make sure that it was seamless.
yeah.
So it works perfectly. It was a
It was
great
like the
timing.
universe made it happen for you.
Hmm. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you mentioned that you were early on, you were contacted by the Learning Channel, TLC. That's
Correct.
the same channel where we all saw the Cake Boss and all of the
Yeah.
shows later on. But you told me that it was even before that, right?
It was even before that. I believe the only cake show that was out back then, it was under the Food Network called the Food Network Challenge.
Yeah,
And
I
but
remember that one. Yeah.
that was a competition.
Mm-hmm.
I ended going into that one too, in the last season, I believe, that they ran. But the show that I made was a completely different show because it wasn't a competition. It was more of to show the people how the consultation process goes, the
Mm-hmm.
baking, the designing, creating until we deliver the cake to the customer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah, it was. I mean, later on there were other shows
Yeah.
similar, but you can say you were one of the pioneers of the cake shows
I
in
can say
in
yes.
there.
I
Yeah,
can say
and with
yeah.
such a new business because your business was just starting out when that happened. Um, Question, because we talk a lot about
Uh-huh.
management here in the
Yeah.
podcast, business management and the business side. How did you manage all of that was happening for a business that was so recent and that you were just trying to figure out how to make the business works
Yeah.
and work and everything happen? Tell us your secret. How do you do it?
So the secret was I had a business partner. So we both opened City Cakes, which actually the original name was not City Cakes. The original name was Diverse Desserts. But
Oh.
because people were having problems pronouncing the name when they were called, where they were like, hi, is that divine dessert? I'm like, no, this is diverse dessert. So we decided to switch it to City
Hmm.
Cakes to make it a little bit more commercial.
Yeah.
So my business partner was Mark, who was the guy that I went to culinary school with. So
Okay, okay,
yeah,
yeah.
so we both stayed together with the business, and
Mm-hmm.
we both developed the business together. Um, but for us to be able to make things work in the beginning, it was hard because he was pretty much the baker, and I was just the designing and the artistic creator. But
Okay.
then we start hiring interns and then employees. So he focused more on the administrative side of the business. And then I was focusing on creating an image and products and all that kind of stuff. So we
Mm-hmm.
both were able to split up. Obviously, I was always involved in some of the stuff and being aware of what we were doing together. But I think on my particular case, what made things easier, it was just the fact that I had somebody
Yeah.
working by my side. Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah.
I always talk to the audience here in the podcast that you don't have to do it alone. And if you don't
Hmm.
have a friend or a business partner that went with you to a culinary school, you can hire somebody, you can ask somebody in your family to give you a hand, somebody
Yeah,
who has the knowledge.
correct.
But reaching out for help and having that support is always important. Do you think your knowledge of the corporate world also helped?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
I mean, my knowledge and his knowledge. He used to
Yeah.
work with big brands such as KitchenAid, Rachel Ray. So he was always involved in those kind of corporations. So
Hmm.
he already was coming with that knowledge and that background. And me coming from the financial aspect research on the corporate world. So we both have some strong base for us
Hmm.
to be able to put ideas and develop the business little by little.
Yeah. City Cakes was I mean, let's talk about City Cakes.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, are you okay talking about City
yeah,
Cakes? Because
yeah,
I know
yeah,
you had to take
yeah.
a break for a
Yeah, no,
while
no,
to,
no,
to
but I'm
but
totally
it's okay.
fine now. Yeah,
Okay,
totally fine.
good,
Yeah.
good. Because City Cakes was almost, I would say, almost like an iconic bakery in
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan, which is like the central part of New York City. It's not like,
Correct.
I had this bakery in some whatever street in somewhere. No, it
Yeah,
was Manhattan. I mean, full of people, tourists,
yeah.
um, businesses, all of this around. What were the challenges of having a bakery in that specific place and of running a business? How long did it last?
We had city case for almost 20 years, 17
Wow.
years.
Wow.
So, and we had a great run. And
Mhm.
like I mentioned earlier, we started working in a 350 square foot location, which was really small. But then the business was growing really fast. Like originally, we were by appointment only to create wedding cake, custom cakes. But then people were always knocking the door. Hey, do you have sweets? You selling something? And that's when the cookies came out into the
Mm.
game
Oh
because
my god, the
we were
cook.
like, okay, yeah, let's
Yeah.
start baking, let's start selling cupcakes and cookies. And when we were trying to figure out the size of the cookie, Mark was just like, hold on a second, how many grams are in a half a pound? Why don't we create the cookies as half a pound and we sell them as half pound cookies? And that's what we did with our cookies. And they become super popular to the point that we had to start shipping them nationwide and to Puerto Rico. And
Mhm.
and that part of the business was growing fast on top of the custom cake business it growing,
Yeah.
so there was a time that we couldn't produce as much as we needed on that location. So that's when we decided to look for a bigger location and to expand. So as part of the process, so also I saw that as an opportunity. A lot of people don't know this, and they're going to be surprised about it, but it was part of the expanding process. I wanted to open an academy, but not just a regular academy. It was just an accredited academy with a full program, and where because I feel like the cake industry needed a full credited program, not just taking one class here, one class over there, a
Got
program
it.
where you
Yeah.
can go and start from the very basic, which is baking cake, and then creating all the icings, fillings, and making a single tier buttercream all the way, what in case of up to sculpting cakes.
Yeah.
And so I created a 5 month program.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we never had the opportunity to release the program and release the academy. But
Okay.
anyway, we decided to move and to expand, and we found this amazing location, which was just a block away from the original location. And we needed investors because it was a lot of money, especially in New York City, that we're going to need. So we found a friend of mine, and he decided to jump in with Mark and I into the adventure. And then we started the process. And it was a stunning state of the art bakery. And I still, as of today, I say that I have never seen a bakery like that anywhere, because it was 4,500 square foot. It was a
Wow. What
two
a
floor.
difference from the first
Uh-huh.
location. Oh my
It was a
God.
2 floor location, and then when you walk in, it was all glass walls, so you can see
Mm.
through the glass walls, the confections, the creation, and everything. It was a dream. But right when we expanded and opened the doors from the business, COVID hits.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And that was issue number one, because no weddings, no parties, no events. And that was like we were facing a monster, because we were like, how are we going to make this work? Because we are not anymore in a 300 square feet location. We are on a 4,500 feet location. Huge stuff. We have about 35 people working,
Wow.
so that means that 35 people payroll, the rents, the expenses, the insurance, the groceries. So it was just like crazy. So right from that moment, we start facing a lot of issues, because it's still, as of today. I mean, you know how the economy is. It's still not what it used to be pre-COVID.
No, nothing.
No. And
Hmm.
so we were going from one issue into the other one, but we were pushing it, as much as we could. Then at some point, Mark felt that he did everything that he needed to do too with the bakery, and he needed to look for another adventure. So he went back into corporate world.
Okay.
And so then I stayed by myself with the investor, who, after that, he decided to become a partner from the business. But then he passed away.
Oh my
So,
God, Benny, everything happened. I didn't know that. Oh
yeah.
God.
So
Yeah.
that's when I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I feel like I was going through so much, hitting the wall
Hmm.
so much, so much, so much, so much. And it wasn't because of we had a horrendous product, people hated us, or no. It was
No.
just because I felt like everything was falling on me.
Yeah,
And I started forgetting how to breathe. And I'm like, I'm not doing well. I can't do this anymore. So
of
I
course.
took the decision to shut down. And that's when, after shutting down, I decided to take a break, because I needed to
Mm,
take a break for my mental health,
of course.
and to be back to where I needed to be, and to kind of
Hmm.
like clean myself mentally and physically from everything. And
Yeah,
then when I was ready, so then I was going to find my way to be back. And that's really, really what happened. I think Kobe was big, because we have amazing projections, and we were hitting them, we were going our way. But then, that monster came around, and the same way it destroyed a lot of businesses, it
hmm,
changed our business big
it
time.
did. It did. And I would love to talk about that
Hmm.
with you because for me, it was also a pivoted moment in a
Hmm.
different way, but it was. And I think for so many people in the industry, was a pivoting moment. And
Yeah.
for the industry itself, what we're seeing now, the trends and where everything is going, it's
Hmm.
a repercussion of what happened 5 years ago with
Agree with you.
COVID.
I agree with you 1,000% on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's changing. Definitely it's changing.
Hmm.
I'm gonna pick your brain on that one. But I mean, it's interesting because I'm listening to your story now that you can talk about it
Uh-huh.
because I bet it was a tough time.
Yeah.
Because everything started like a fairy tale, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you opened your first bakery and everything was going to the TV shows and the
Yeah.
weddings and everything and all the opportunities, and then feeling that all of that fairy tale came crumbling
Mm-hmm.
down, and it wasn't because of you. Like you said, it was not
Correct.
my fault, it was not the
Mm-hmm.
product, it was not the business. If you could take a takeaway from
Uh-huh.
everything that happened that said, okay, lesson learned, what would that be?
Well, the biggest takeaway that I took from everything is that nothing is permanent and nothing is forever. Everything change,
Mm.
so I guess prepare myself uh not only for the good, but prepare myself more for the negative and the bad things that possibly can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um I guess me personally, I was so focused in just like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna make it work, it's gonna happen, blah 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 blah, that I never thought in a million years that, how do you prepare yourself for a pandemic? How do you prepare yourself for a for a shutdown of a few years? If
Mm-hmm.
something like that happen. Um, and I guess I'm not. I know I'm not the. I was not the only one, and I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of people that learn from that process. And like you say, it was a moment that changed life
Mm-hmm.
forever. And because same as you, I see I see that particular moment that year as a crucial time in which everything happens. And I don't think the world is the same as it used to be pre-pandemic.
Oh
You know,
no, I agree 100%. Yeah.
the way that the way that businesses operate, the way that people act or react right now, um like the sense of like entitlement, work ethic, I feel like it's zero right now. I mean, people don't
Mm-hmm.
want to work these days, and
No.
it's just, and it's sad. It's just sad because it's just like crazy to me. And everything happens so fast and still happening really fast.
Yeah.
And, and it just like sometimes it worries me about like, where are we going? Where are we going? What's going to happen with all this? The industry
Yeah.
have changed too a
Has
lot. And
changed so much. Yes,
yeah.
it's true. It's true. I have been recording a few episodes with another podcaster baker,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trying to cover, uh, let's say, topic by topic, how much our industry
Mm-hmm.
has changed and where is it going, because I feel that we are from 5 years ago, this
Yeah.
in a pivotal moment, right? Like, okay, this is going
Yeah.
somewhere, and it's not what I'm used to. It's like something
Mm-hmm.
is changing, but it's not clear where it's going
Mm-hmm.
either. So many things. The remote working. Everybody's working remotely, so nobody wants to go out and work, which has
Yeah.
affected bakeries industry because
Mm-hmm.
people don't go out to eat things that,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'm at work, let me go get a cookie or let me go get a
Correct.
cupcake. I know
Yeah.
everybody's at home, so okay, business had to change. Now I have to deliver things, now I have to take my products to people. That's one thing that has changed.
Yeah.
Social media, the division of people is like either
Mm-hmm.
black or white, there's no in between. And
Mm-hmm.
that is, I've seen that also in our industry. Like you're either
Mm-hmm.
here or there, but there is no in between.
Correct.
Community has changed in our
Mm-hmm.
industry. That sense of community as well. A lot of new faces, but not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily new talented. I don't know if you feel that way too.
Yeah. A hundred
Like,
percent.
yeah, like everything is for social media. The
Mm-hmm.
content creator, um, that is beautiful to look at, but we know the behind the scenes of the business, and it's like it's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
work. It's not just
It's funny.
creating
It's
a
funny.
reel of 3 seconds and you have a cake, you
It's funny
know?
that you say that because
Mhm.
I was talking about this with a few friends from the industry,
Mhm.
and one example that I'm going to bring out is just the cake shows. Before, you used
Mhm.
to, you needed to go to a cake show to first to meet your idols, to meet the people that you love, to meet the
Yeah.
artists face to
Yeah.
face, and to hang out and spend time with them. Also to take classes from that people that they're very qualified in specific techniques or fields. and also to compete because that was the way for you, for people to get to know who you were and your work.
Yeah.
So it was the perfect place. Now, for example, here in America, we have zero cake shows.
Yeah. What happened to the shows in America? I know.
They all gone because people stopped going to them, and vendors didn't wanted to sign up for the cages because that's an investment, and if people are not going to the cages, how are they going to
Mhm.
make sure that they're selling their products? So,
Yeah.
and part of this problem is, you mentioned it before, is social media.
Yeah.
Why? Because everything is now on your nose up there, and anyone can do anything from home. Why would I have to go to a cake show to promote my product if I can do it in social media? You know,
Exactly.
and then,
Yeah.
like you say, there's a lot of people out there making silly content with cakes, and there is not the greatest, but they just throw it in social media, get people's attentions, and then you compare that with real artists who has been in the field for years, who are super talented and
Yeah.
crazy. The work is beyond, and unfortunately, sometimes that silly or stupid thing content that was created by X or Y person get more traction than other people that.
Yeah.
And I blame that in social media because it's just like it's a game of algorithm and like followers, and I know a lot of people who stand in front of the camera pretending to have a knowledge that they don't have,
They don't.
because they have other people who make their stuff for them, and they just
Really? Oh, I
and
didn't know
they
that one.
there's
Wow.
people like that, and they're just
Oh, it's just for the content. That's all.
correct, correct.
Oh.
And it's sad because it's just like how many people spend their life creating and building a career, an honest
Hmm.
career. It's like going back into the cake shows, and there was a point in which everyone want to be a judge on the competition,
Hmm.
and I'm like, people who never had experience in competing,
Mm.
no knowledge of developing products correctly with good techniques, and I'm like, based on what? If you're going to be a judge, I believe you have to have you have had competed in the past, so you know how the process work. You have a strong resume. Your work speak for itself. You don't
Yeah,
have to.
because as a competitor, how are you going to feel if anyone is just judging your work, right?
Correct, because if I'm
Yeah.
competing in a sculpted category, so I'm expecting that my judge is going to be somebody with an amazing knowledge on that field, not somebody who specializes in cupcakes.
Oh, I
You,
love that you say that, Benny. I just like, yes, for
yeah.
that, because I've been seeing that since I didn't start competing long ago. I actually it was after pandemic that I
Hmm.
started to go. And actually this week I'm going to Cake International
Okay.
at
Okay.
Birmingham,
Hmm.
and I started competing. I don't know, maybe yeah, 5 years ago, 4 years
Yeah.
ago, because the competitions were open online during the
Hmm.
pandemic. So I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, now I'm going to Cake International, and that was one of the things that I was like, you're a cookie artist and you're judging me on modeling. It's like,
Hmm.
I know you're good at what you do, but it's not the same because I don't do cookies or I
Hmm.
don't do flowers. So I don't get it. It's
Yeah.
good that you mentioned that, because
Yeah.
that was always in the back of my mind. It's like, I don't get it.
Yes, I always struggle with that, in just
Mm,
like, okay, I mean, how if you again don't have a few wins under your belt from previous year that you competed,
yeah.
and you don't have a strong portfolio of your work
Yeah.
that speak for themselves, you don't
Hmm.
have the years of experience of career, you don't have the knowledge of work with the actual medium and not just styrofoam. So all those things,
Yeah, all of those things that should be
yeah,
taken into
correct. Because
consideration.
that's another an issue that I have too. I mean, anyone can sculpt a styrofoam. It's easy. So what's your knowledge? Can you do that? with real
On an
cake.
edible medium with cake.
Correct,
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of
Mhm.
elements behind that structure, support, the type of cake that you're going to use, the type of icing you're going to use, the filling. So there's a lot of things that goes
A
into
lot.
the process.
Yeah.
So those are the things. That's why when I judge competitions, I take it very seriously
Good.
because obviously I never take away the time and the effort that each person put in into creating their own piece because I think of myself on my competition days, how much time and effort you put on a piece. So,
Mhm.
but at the same time, there's a lot of things that I take in consideration when I have to judge a competition. But
Yeah.
yes, I mean, it goes into the point that I don't know, anyone was judging the cake competition, and to me that lost credibility a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I understand what you mean, and I agree with you. I have to say that I know a lot of the judges at Cake International, and they do take their job very seriously. But they're not only that, but there are so many competitions that, and I've seen this in many shows. It's like it's because they're famous because they
hmm,
are on TikTok or on
yeah,
Instagram, and they have made a name out of maybe a competition show on TV,
hmm,
and now they're judging. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, but I've been in this for 20 years, and I have learned. I come from the generation that I remember here in Portugal. When I started 18 years ago, there was not even a store that sold um, uh, fondant. I had to
yeah,
make it because I had to order it online and it was very expensive. So I had to make it. Then stores started to open. I was like, oh, okay, finally, because there was
yeah,
no way I could make a black fondant, for example. So
uh-huh,
yeah, we started when that was the
hmm,
rule. We had to figure it out. So
yeah.
yeah, it's very different now.
It's
Very
it's
different.
it's it's different, and I think I mean again we have no cake shows in the States. They all die one
Mm.
by one, and
Oh,
I
that's so
think
sad. I was
it's
looking forward
really
to go.
sad. It's really
Yeah.
sad. I mean, the only one right now that's still going on is Cake International. I haven't
Mhm.
been in Cake International in about 4 years, so I don't know how it's going. So
Yeah.
I can't just create an opinion about how the show has been affected by pandemic because I haven't been. The last time was
I
pre-pandemic.
think from the people that I know, because I went to Cake International after pandemic, but everybody says that it has gotten smaller
Yeah.
because less people either less people is attending, and then you have the Brexit in the UK, which
Hmm.
also affected Europe because a lot of vendors from Europe think twice
Uh,
before taking their products to UK because of the taxes and all of the things that they have to
yeah.
pay right now. And even for
Hmm.
us as attendees, it's getting expensive every year to go.
And
And
that's
I'm
the
in
other
Portugal.
thing.
I'm 3 hours away. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the
Hmm.
other thing because I mean, is it worth it or what you're planning and doing over there? Because it's a
Yeah.
lot of money that we had to spend in airfare, hotel, transportation, food for at least 4 or 5 days.
Exactly,
So
exactly. So
yeah.
yeah, but it's sad because that was the time, and
Hmm.
that's the thing that I'm looking forward to this weekend, this next weekend, is to see everybody, to hug my friends, to meet my idols,
Yeah.
because that's what it's all about. But even that has a different tone
Hmm.
now, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if it's more egos around than they used to
They are.
be.
They are.
Yeah.
And again, I just feel like it's just because if you had the opportunity to be in one TV show, so what? That doesn't mean you're a superstar.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people get so hungry about it and their
Mm.
egos blows a little bit. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, again, you were in one TV show, you've been in this industry for just 1 or 2 years. That's good. Keep going. You're going in a good track and a good
Mhm.
path. But there's a lot of people around who has been around for years and have a
Yes.
solid career. So their egos can be way higher or bigger, but they're not. You know,
Yeah.
it's
That's
it's
true.
it's all about. I think it's all about a balance and enjoying the opportunities that uh, come your way.
Mm-hmm.
but don't get, unfortunately, again, it's social media. It's just, you can feel the egos or the people who wants to be a star, or
Yeah,
think
I
they are a star
know. I
already.
know.
It's just like, and unfortunately, that's part of social media. And the sad part is just like 90% of the stuff that you see in social media, I have learned that it's not true and it's not real.
Oh, it
It,
is so fake. Yeah,
uh-huh.
it's so
It-
staged. I won't say fake, but it's so staged.
correct.
And you learn
Correct.
it more and more as you go along, and you're like, yeah, now it's
And
not
now
really
and now everyone wants to be an influencer.
that.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. It's just like, seriously?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I get scared when I hear children, young
Hmm.
people talking about, oh, that's what I want to do in life. It's like, no, get an education, honey. No, you're not
Yeah.
gonna leave out
It's
of being
funny.
an influencer.
It's funny. I'm gonna tell you a little story because right before I shut down City K, I
Hmm.
was on my way home, which I used to live a few blocks away, and I saw a customer. It was this woman with the two kids, and we started chatting a little bit. Hey, how are you? Blah 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 blah. And then at some point, because the kids were really nice, I asked them, "Hey, what do you want to do when you grow up?" And one of them said to me, "An influencer. I don't need to go to school for that, but mommy said that I have to." And I'm like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, I know. I
That
know.
was a moment for me that I'm just like, holy crap, the
Yeah,
mentality. And that's what social media is doing, is
it
does right
is.
now.
It
You
is.
know.
And it's I mean, it's a thing that we need, social
Hmm.
media as a business, as
Yeah,
and because of work is so visual, we need
correct.
to be at it. We need to be in it, we need to
Hmm.
use it. But in the other hand, I always tell, and we just did recently an episode on social media, and I always tell everybody, choose your battles. Are you a social media manager or are you a baker?
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, it's time consuming, it's a job in itself. And
Correct.
yeah, and it's this idea that is selling to everyone that is easy, and especially to young people, that no, yeah, it's easy,
Yeah.
and yes, you can do it. And this industry needs young people, needs new
Hmm.
blood,
Oh
but
yeah.
it needs talent, like new
Hmm.
talent, not new influencers on
Yeah.
doing, yeah, just baking something for the sake of views and beating the algorithm. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's funny that you say that because we needed a lot of talent. And I met a few friends from the industry yesterday to discuss some things. Actually, they're helping me on a project that I'm working right now.
Okay.
And we were just talking about how we see cake art these days, and we ended talking about the hyper realistic cakes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's the
And
big
I
deal right now,
and
right?
I and then we got into this topic, and I say, listen, I don't have any issue with hyper realistic cakes on creation or whatever, but what I have noticed is just like the amount of cakes that are created right now using molds. Anyone can make a mold, stuff it with cake and icing, and then pull it out of the cake, the mold, and there's the cake. What happened to the artistry, the
Yeah.
process of
Mhm.
creating everything from scratch? And I miss that. I miss seeing more artistic interpretation of visions, of ideas, of just like not just replicating a cake out of a mold, because obviously it's going to look exactly as the original item because you're using the item to create the mold.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
it so
Which, yes, it's a way to
Mhm.
do it, right?
Correct.
But yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I also talked recently about trends, and
Hmm.
that's one of the trends that is, with the
Yeah.
shows on TV. There's a show on Netflix. Is it cake? All of that. Uh, I wouldn't do it. It's not my thing. It's like,
Hmm.
for me, it has to be a cake. And honestly, as a customer, I don't want a cake that looks like a turkey.
Hmm.
I want a cake that looks like a cake. I don't want a
Yeah.
cake that looks like a ball or like a hat or
Hmm.
like a, no, no.
Yeah.
I want a cake that looks like a cake, that I look at it and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a cake and I want to eat the
Uh-huh.
cake. That's,
Yeah.
as a customer, is like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's trending because it's entertaining. It's good to look
correct.
at it. So yeah.
And that's what happened with I mean, people have to also understand that uh that's also actually the point of all these cake shows, entertain, because at the end of the
Hmm.
day, what happens behind the scene is just like a very, it's that real? Do you really because we all know that in real life we need a few days to create a cake, an amazing, beautiful cake. We cannot do
Yeah.
that in 3 or 4 hours. It's just
Oh my God.
impossible.
Yeah. It's crazy. No. Yeah.
But it's all for entertainment to the public, and then they put you under very stressful situations to see how do you react, because for the production companies or for the network, that's entertainment for the audience now.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what show that, and it is a totally out of the topic that I wanted to say, but
Yeah.
you know what show I used to love?
Uh-huh.
Nailed It, because
Oh, okay.
that's it. I mean,
Uh-huh.
if you put any of us, even with the level of expertise we have, to make a cake in 1 hour, that's
Uh-huh.
what's going to happen. What you see on
Correct.
the show is that was the real deal. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what you do when you're doing all of that in 1 hour, because it's not an hour process.
Correct.
So yeah, that was funny, but
Yeah.
and I think quite accurate to what could happen
Correct.
in an hour with a cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about the future of the cake industry, and going back to the trends, also there I've been looking at some things on social media, and there is a craving somehow for vintage,
Mm-hmm.
going back to basics and old fashioned. And now we're seeing all these cakes, buttercream cakes or icing cakes with the ruffles and the
Mm-hmm.
piping and the flowers. Do you think that is like a cry for help for the people who really love cakes? Is like, we need to go back to basics.
I mean, I think yes, it's part of the thing, and I think it's actually uh nice to see that a lot of people are going back into the old style of traditional vintage piping cake design, because it's just like it's teaching also the people kind of like the beginnings too. I mean, where cake
Mm,
design come from before all these crazy three-dimensional sculpted cake designs, or you know these massive wedding cakes that you see in the Middle East or whatever, which is not real cake. We're gonna be honest. Um, came to into the game, how cakes were done before.
mm-hmm,
Just hours, sometimes the piping and details and all that kind of stuff. Um, I like the fact that they are kind of like they are around again, because it's teaching the new audience and the new
yeah.
cake artists uh, more about it. And it's a skill that not everyone knows how to do it. It's a specific skill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is, and it's even pre, because I am with sugar paste fondant
Hmm.
school, right?
Yeah.
It's even prior to that, and
Correct.
I have to say I've been doing a few just for the fun of it, because I don't sell cakes anymore.
Yeah.
I'm dedicating to the coaching part and the teaching part,
Hmm.
but it's challenging. It's not that
Hmm.
easy. It is
Yeah.
challenging. There's a lot of things to consider: the
Correct.
texture of the buttercream, the temperature of the room,
Hmm.
steady hand when piping, all of that.
Hmm.
So it's not
Yeah.
that easy. So
That's
it's
right.
good to see that trend coming
Correct.
back. So what do you think? Where do you think our industry is going? What do you foresee for the cake industry?
I think, I mean, the cakes are still gonna be around, because a few years ago I was part of this food art group, and
Hmm.
in which with all the members were artists who work with different edible mediums. And one person told me, "Oh, I think the cakes are gonna be disappear or gonna fade." And I'm like, "No, it won't. Why? Because people are always gonna get married. People are always gonna get celebrating the birthday. They're gonna have baptisms, and they're gonna have all that kind of events. And the cake is an important key on those events. So cakes are always gonna be around. The designs, the trends are always going to be back and forward. Look at right now that we were just discussing about the piping vintage
Hmm.
style, and that's just like from years ago. Um, sculpted cakes are always intrigued by people, and I think they're always going to be uh, new ideas, especially I'm in New York City. I'm in a big city in which crazy events, big events are always happening. Or if you go to a party and somebody got an amazing three-dimensional sculpted cake, so I'm going to have a party in the next month. So I'm going to get in touch with someone who's going to make better cake than the one that you
Exactly.
have. So it's
Hmm.
all that kind of
Hmm.
thing happens in big cities like New York City. We have Broadway, we have the Met Gala, we have so these
Yeah.
massive events. So there's
Hmm.
always event rooms to create crazy cake designs. So I see that like people are gonna still trying to find a way to create replicas of things in cake. The uh, hyperrealism cakes still on, still around, still intrigued by people. Companies still get in touch with you. Hey, can you replicate these products? We're gonna launch a new product. We're gonna make a reel or post or whatever. So just they just want to, you know, that's gonna still gonna be around forever. Color trends tend to change on a yearly basis, and most of the times people in the cake industry, they kind of like do a little research in terms of fashion, what colors are going to be using in fashion to kind of translate that into the cake design.
Yeah, it has
So
always been this correlation between the fashion
correct,
industry and the cake
correct,
industry. Hmm.
correct. But I think we still stuck for now with the hyperrealism cakes and all that crazy crazy ideas.
Let's see how long it lasts. Yeah,
Yes, that's
we'll
correct.
watch.
That's one.
We'll
Yeah,
watch how long it
yeah.
lasts. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Because you do beautiful sculpted cakes.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would say
oh, your
I
dog cakes. Your dog cakes are
yeah,
just
I
precious.
like sculpted cakes is my favorite, are my favorite because it's just like it challenged me.
Hmm.
And I love to work with projects that challenge me, that make me think, that make me go crazy. I go through a process in the beginning. If I'm say yes to a project and because it's cool, then I'm going through the first phase, which is anxiety, trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to bring that to life, and then creating sculpted cakes. You also have to think like an engineer to how you're gonna work with the K, how you're gonna build a structure support system that support the K, the weight, and especially if you had to travel hours with that cake. So there's a lot of
Hmm.
elements that you have to think about it. And obviously the years of experience of working with different mediums and different structures or whatever is an advantage because you know what to use and what not to use. That's kind
Exactly.
of
You
stuff.
get
Yeah.
to that point where you know exactly how to
Hmm.
do.
Correct.
And yeah, yeah, because there's a lot to think about with those
Yeah.
cakes. It's not
Correct.
just, okay, let me just start baking. No, there is
Correct.
a lot to think about. Any
Yeah.
favorite project that you remember that,
Oh yes,
feel dear to your heart?
oh yes, it's funny. Like I always get asked this question, but yes, it's just the my 9/11 fireman that will forever be my favorite piece, and it's just
I saw it
yeah,
yesterday because I was looking at your
yeah.
cakes at your page, and yes,
And
it's a great
it's a beautiful piece, and it has a special meaning for me because I was involved in the 9/11 events when that happened. I
cake.
was down there,
Yeah.
and the reaction of the public, the people from that piece, that cake was made in 2000. I don't remember, in the early 2000s, I believe, and still as of today people remember that piece, and people always once in a while shoot me an email or make a comment about it. And
Mm,
I made that piece for a competition piece and the New York Cake Show back then, and the theme
okay.
was New York. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to do anything fashion, anything Broadway. I need to think out of the box. And that was when I'm like, okay, hold on, 9/11. Uh, I want to honor the heroes from that date.
Mm,
And that's when I come up with the idea. And I won first place, but more than that, to me was just the messages and the email that I got from people thanking me because of that
mhm.
piece and the message that I was sending with that piece. To me, that's more important, and that is still
Yeah.
relevant as of today, and that people still remember that. you know.
Yes, because the cake, if you have any chance, anybody listening has any chance to go to Benny's page and take a look at the cake, is not just that is so well done, but
Hmm.
it shares an emotion, the
Hmm.
cake. The position of the fireman, I mean, it
Correct.
tells a story. And
Correct.
I appreciate so much that in everything, because even going back to cake shows, Cake International and other shows, sometimes you see this big huge sculpted
Hmm.
sculptures or cakes, and or even not the so big but figurines that technique wise they're
Hmm.
perfect, but they're empty, it's like they
Hmm.
don't say anything. There's no story, there's no feeling behind it. It's just technique. And one thing that I do appreciate in any work of art
Hmm.
is the emotion that it shows.
I'm
And
totally with you too. And that's actually one of the things that
mhm,
I always, when I teach a class to my students, that we get into the topic of a competition, something they ask me questions or whatever, I always say to them, like, listen, don't make a piece just to make a piece. Try to send a message with it.
say something, yeah.
That's a perfect opportunity for you to send a message to for people that whoever walks by stand in the front of it and just like, holy crap, I get it. You know, it can get emotion. You can be emotional with a piece
You
that you
can.
may.
You can
Yeah.
feel the
Hmm.
goosebumps. You connect with the piece. It's true.
Hmm.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I try to do that with my modeling,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I was talking to a friend that we all usually go to competitions together, and she says, "Well, we're not the best. We're not the worst. We're in the middle of the pack." So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm not the best, not the worst. We're in the middle of the pack, but I have to say, whatever I put in that table
Hmm.
say something. It
Correct.
has life. It has me in it. I feel like
Correct.
part of me is in there. So yeah, it might not be technique wise perfect,
Hmm.
but I'm proud of it. And
But
I always try to transmit that. Yeah. Yeah.
and as a judge, to me, is that is extremely important.
Mm,
Because it's just like, wow, you're able to make me feel in certain way when I'm looking at your work. That to me
yeah.
says a lot
Yeah.
of the person who creates the piece. So
Yeah,
yeah.
me too. I agree with you. Not as a judge, I never judge
Hmm.
anything. I'll
Yeah.
be a terrible judge. I always say that. I had David Close from Cake International here
Uh-huh.
in the podcast a few times. And I would say, David, I will be the worst judge ever because for me, everybody, you know, A
Hmm.
for an effort, you try,
Yeah.
you did good.
Yeah.
I cannot see the bad. I mean, I cannot see the flaws. I
Yeah.
will say I just give a sticker to everyone and a lollipop, and that's it. So no,
Yeah.
I will be the worst judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are people, I mean, there's people for everything, right?
Yeah.
There's some to be judged,
Correct.
others don't. uh
Correct.
good, good. Benny, what's in the future for you? Because okay, Cake Cities, that was a chapter that happened, you
Hmm.
learned from it, you took your break, you came back.
Yeah.
What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now, and what is in the future for you?
So right now I'm working with a few projects. Um, I kind of like reconnect with my original business partner, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just talking because City Cakes was our baby. And we were just like, there's days when we miss certain things from the business. And we were like, what can we do from what we had? What legacy can we still leave behind? So we are working with a few projects already with City Cakes products and City Cakes stories that we have with some of our amazing customers and people that we work in the past. So we're currently working with a few things. I can't give a lot of details because
Okay,
we
it's
still,
surprise. It's
uh
surprise. It's okay.
but I was able to partner and work with this amazing bakery here. It's called Mia's Bakeries. Mia's
Mhm.
Brooklyn Bakery. They have three locations: one in Brooklyn, one in Times Square, and the other one in the Upper East Side. So I was able to find a great opportunity to help them bring the custom cake uh, aspects of the business to help them elevate the custom designs. And and also there was a lot of things, and because I'm still have my clients behind my back, hey, I need you. Are you working? Are you back making cakes? And I'm like, so now I also have a place to kind of like be back making cakes for those customers and clients
Good,
that still.
good. Yeah.
And right now I'm working in a massive project for the New York City Ballet and Travelers, which is an insurance company. They're the sponsor. This is going to be my third year
Okay.
working with them. So I had to create a massive edible display related to the Nutcracker, the show from the ballet.
Oh,
That is going to be 9 feet tall by 9 feet wide. It
oh
has
my
to be
God.
all edible mediums, fondant, chocolate, candy, sprinkles, different type of medium.
Oh God, that's huge.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I pretty much had to create a scene or from the show or a concept or an idea from the show. So the first year I did it, what we did was the massive gingerbread house that you can't even look through inside the house and see the living room and all the details from inside the house.
Yeah.
Then the year after, I made the sugar plum ballerina from the ballet from the
I
Nutcracker.
remember that ballerina.
Yeah.
Yeah, the picture of that
S-
one.
So now I'm currently working in the last project, which is going to be revealed on November 25th, which is the installation day.
Mhm.
So I'm now in the phase of I already put together the design, the structure. So I'm now waiting for the final materials that I need to start building this week actually. Because it's a big project, so it's going to take a long time. So it's going to be at the lobby of the David H. Cook Theater at the Lincoln Center from
Mhm.
November 25th until January 3rd.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Excellent,
yeah,
excellent. Well, I cannot wait to see what you're gonna make because,
yeah.
of course, you cannot tell because it's a surprise. But I
Yes,
cannot wait to see what you're gonna make
yeah,
this year. Amazing,
yeah.
amazing, great. Benny, if you could talk to your younger self about everything that has happened today, what piece of advice would you give yourself, or what
Oh,
would you say?
yes, to be a little bit stronger and be ready for those difficult moments that you have to go through when you own a business.
Mm,
And because, I mean, if I'm honest with you, when I thought the idea of owning a business or creating and opening a bakery, I thought originally just on the fun pieces, on the fun art that I was going to be able to create.
mm,
And I kind of didn't put much attention about all the other elements that comes with owning a business, especially in a
I
big city
know.
like New York City, like permits, taxes, then all the regulations. It's just like, oh my God, and I hated all that.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you just wanna be creative, that's all.
Correct.
Yeah.
I just want to be, and that's when, thank God I had Mark back then. He was just like, w- why we decided to, okay, you're going to take care of this and I'm going to take care of that because I don't have the patience to deal with that if I need the patience to deal with this.
Mhm.
So those are the things, I guess, to, um, yes, there's a background that helped me and help him to on a business, but there's so much more than that that is required to make sure that you cover all the different areas on a business and in owning a business. So I guess it's just to be prepared and to be more open to just learn new things, because at some point I was just a little bit of hard on myself in terms like, no, I don't want to do it that way. And sometimes you had to be a little bit more flexible and
Okay.
for make things to learn. Sometimes I used to be the kind of person who just like I have a vision and
Mhm.
that's what I want. And sometimes you had to let yourself go a little bit more and be more open to other possibilities and other options and other ideas for
Got it.
your idea to be able to work. So
Yeah.
But again, I mean, you live and learn, and we had a great run. We had a great run. It just like shit happens at the end.
It does, it does.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I wrote down something here. I love what you said, uh, because you had a big store bakery in
Mm-hmm,
Manhattan, but that could translate to anyone listening right now,
mm-hmm,
baking from home and wanted to open a small shop. That flexibility, that understand the business part,
mm-hmm,
that be prepared for the good and for the bad. It's not all.
mm-hmm.
It's not going to be this Hallmark movie bakery that we think it's going to be for the rest of our lives. They're going to
Correct.
be challenges. So this is for everyone that is listening right now. Not just if you have a big bakery in Manhattan, but if you're opening a little bakery from
Mm-hmm,
your small town. It's the same. And I wrote something here that when you were talking about everything you went through with the
mm-hmm,
bakery and the decision, and I wrote knowing when to quit. And there's a
mm-hmm.
magic of that too. Knowing when
Correct.
to say, okay, it was good, and all the
Yeah,
signs are telling me it's not working right now, and I have to
yeah.
protect my mental health. I have to protect myself.
Yes,
And
that's extremely important because
yeah,
sometimes it's just like we go through this phase in which just like we don't want to let it go. It's my baby. I created this amazing, it's my brand. People got to know me here. I did so much with this brand. But there was a point also in which you have to take care of yourself. You have to
mm,
take care of your mental health, and it is priority, should be priority number one. Because if you are not happy and stable and feel comfortable within yourself, how are you going to be able to deal with all the other things? And I felt that I couldn't, and I feel like I was losing myself with the process. I'm like, I was not, even it got into the point that I was not enjoying going into the shop, when before it was a joy to be over there.
yeah,
And those were huge flags, you
yeah,
know, and that's why I'm like, enough. I need to do it. It's gonna break my heart. Yeah, I'm gonna go through a process which I know I'm gonna have sad days. I'm gonna have memories or whatever, but I will find a way to deal with that,
yeah,
and I'll find a way to be back and somehow still do what I love to do.
yeah. And it's I mean, there's a strength on that,
Hmm.
on
Yeah.
realizing that, a big strength. And it's not uh we had also Adriano Sumbo here on the podcast. I think
Uh-huh.
it was last year, and he mentioned that he had many successes, but he also had many failures.
Hmm.
And and he said it was just a learning experience.
Correct.
To be okay with that, I learned. Okay,
Hmm.
it's time to close. Let's move on and let's do the next thing. And it's okay. You can allow
Correct.
yourself to do that.
It's totally
Yeah,
okay. I mean, I look back now, and I do still have my moments in which just like I feel sad on the way that things ended,
of course.
but there's way more positive memories than negative.
Yeah.
And um, I think one of the most beautiful things that happens after I closed the business was just reconnecting with Mark. So we both we're going through the process together too. We
Mm,
both there supporting each other. And still occasionally we still test each other. Oh, I miss when we used to do this. I miss when
yeah.
do that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I get it. I feel
Yeah.
it. But you know what? I see life now in a completely different way. And I see life as different phases that we go through, chapters that we
Hmm.
go through.
Yeah.
And that was a chapter that we needed to just close down and then just create and start a new one, not forgetting what we learned from the past and bring that with us.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Again, I grew up so much with that experience, what happened in the last few years. that I see life and I enjoy life in a completely different way now. I
Yeah,
try
and that is
to,
beautiful. That
yeah,
is
I
feels personal now.
definitely, because also the other thing was just like I was there almost 24. You had to be available 24/7. And at some point I forgot about myself. And now I make my priority to have a balance between my
Yeah.
professional and personal life.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and
yeah.
that is so important.
Yeah.
I have a saying that I will share with my coaches and the people here is like, uh, your business is you. Your business needs
Hmm.
you in your best, but you are not your business. You have to
Correct.
separate yourself and take care of yourself. And
Correct.
I'm glad that you found that balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there are blessings in
Yeah.
every situation, and
Correct.
I'm happy that you find it,
There's there's
and that
there's
you're still
there
doing your thing, your cakes, because that's
I
where
was
your talent
I was
is.
I was gonna say, people always tell me, but you're still you. Your talent's still your talent. You have your experience is still your experience, and your
Yeah,
career is still your career. And I'm like, it doesn't matter wherever you go, you are bringing all that with you, and it's true. It's true.
it's true. It's
I'm
true.
still the same person. I'm still the same artist. I'm still creating. I'm now back creating. So, um, it's happy to be back in that in
Yeah.
that in that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, just be proud of all that you achieve, good and bad,
Correct.
because it's there.
Correct.
And I have to
Correct.
say, from this Venezuelan uh, living in Portugal, I've never
Yeah.
tasted your cookies, but just looking, like you're talking right now about the cookies from City Cakes, and I remember the pictures of the cookies, and I'm
Yeah.
salivating. I'm like, oh yes, they look so yummy. They look so good. So yeah,
They
be proud
were.
of that, because
They were. They were
they were
so.
there for many people, and
Yeah.
you make, and at the end of the day, cakes make people happy, and you made a lot of
Hmm.
people happy with your
Yeah.
cakes.
That's correct.
Excellent, excellent. Benny, we have, because I mean, we've been talking for an hour. I cannot believe it. But I have a question for all the guests here in the show. Last
Yeah.
question of the show is, if you could bake a cake for anybody, dead or alive, who would that be? And what would that cake look like?
Easy for me. Pink.
Okay. Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was fast.
I always say I have listened through my career. I have had the opportunity to make cakes for Jennifer Lopez, Mariah Carey, James Franco, Mike Myers, Madonna, different people.
Wow,
And
amazing.
but Pink, why? Because I just see her and she's so cool. She's so
She is.
down to earth. And
Yeah.
I always say I would love to go to a bar and have a drink with her
Oh, that's
because
good. I love that.
she that's the vibe that I always get from her. And one thing that I admire from her is that how she always say that she wanted to be away from all the Hollywood things. So she decided to move far from all these people and just dedicate herself and her career and and her family. And you
Yeah.
can tell there's a few documentaries on Netflix in which she's traveling always with her family.
Yeah, yeah.
And also her crew, her staff. She's one of the things that she's saying in one of the documentaries, she's just like, I don't understand why if you are going to have a tour every few years, you have to audition new people and find new people. When you find the good people that feels like family, stick with them.
You
And
keep them.
she's
Yeah.
still treating all the members from her band, the dancers, or she still had the same people from years, and they travel with her.
Amazing.
And it's
Yeah.
just like when you see that side of her, it just like make it more human and not
Hmm.
just this the five-star celebrity. So I
Yeah.
just I just found her really, really, really cool. Which right the last year I closed City Cake and make a birthday cake for her birthday, but just and the shop in to honor
Okay.
her.
Okay. Okay.
And I posted, and she liked it, and
Yeah.
it was really cool. It was really cool to see that she reacted to it. But I
Oh,
would say her.
her.
I say yeah, her.
Okay, that's it. You have your answer. I love
Uh
that.
huh.
I love
Yeah.
that. And being somebody who has done cakes for so many famous people,
Hmm.
You chose the one that you haven't done yet. Yet.
Correct.
And I will put
Exactly.
yet in there because
I
maybe I
said
don't think Pink is listening to the podcast,
that
but we're launching this to the universe. We
to
never
the
know.
universe.
Yeah, we
Correct.
never know what could
Correct.
happen.
Yeah.
That's amazing, Benny. Benny, there are so many things I wish we could talk about, but I love
Yeah.
that we kept it down to earth, personal,
Yeah.
and just about
Yeah.
what we do. Our business,
Correct.
our cakes, and our industry. It was an honor having you here. It was
Yeah.
it was amazing. I had a great time. I hope you did too.
I did have a
Um,
great time, and it was an honor to chat with you. Maybe in the future we can do another one. So who
Oh,
knows?
for sure,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. I'm thinking that we should do one of these episodes about the future of the cake industry,
Yeah.
and maybe with some guests. I would love
Yeah.
to hear with the opinion of more people into this topic. So we
Definitely.
should we
Definitely.
should.
Sounds
Now
good.
it's
Sounds
here in
good.
the podcast, so we have to do it. We said it
Yes.
on the podcast. We have
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
Great, Benny. Thank you so much
You're
for giving
welcome.
us this hour of your time. And to everybody listening to this episode, thank you so much. I'm going to be leaving the links to Benny's page and social media here in case you don't know who Benny Rivera is, to go and check it out and connect with him and his amazing work. I cannot wait to see what you're going to make for the ballet.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yes. It's
Well,
gonna be
thank you
cool.
so much.
Awesome. You're welcome.
And thank you. And to everybody listening, uh, I say goodbye as I always say goodbye. Stay safe and stay creative, my friends. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.